I am super proud to introduce to you our phenomenal mentor, an exceptional, powerful leader. He's a founder of Matrix Group all over the world. He's a senior vice president with ACN and one of our very dear friend, dearest friend. Please welcome an incredible, a powerful Byron Nelson.
I'm here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you and we can see you and we love your heart.
Thank you. Oh, how is everybody doing?
Amazing.
You know, Mr. Zaga, Manny, you did phenomenal. Janice, you did phenomenal. You guys are just extraordinary. Hey, Gala. Just an amazing cast of what's going on here. But more so than anything else, I'm gonna jump right into the water. I could talk about Renata and Boris for the next 3 days, not say the same thing twice and not miss a beat in breath. You know, when I think of the leaders she's developed.
Like watching the animal.
Yeah, see, that would be Boris. Only Boris could do that and get away with it without me cursing him out one time. That's my big little brother. So, but with so much love and respect for, you know, Gold and Henry and Steve and Ina and just the leaders that are present here and the ones that are up and coming. It's always an honor to circle the wagons and come back when Renata asked me to come and do a training. And the purpose of this, without all the hype and everything else, because I will perform more edification so you understand the magnitude. I think the problem is that we take our leaders for granted. It's natural, you know, it's just like parents. You know, if you are a parent, then you understand the concept of having a child that does not understand the sacrifice that the child is sitting in, what the parent had to do for that child. That child has no clue of the price that was paid for them to be able to have the life they have. Does anybody understand? Just nod your head if that makes a little sense, if you guys understand that, right? And you don't understand that. We didn't understand that as children until we became parents. For those that were blessed enough to have children, it's like, wow, you know, I mean, it's mind blowing. And God forbid, hopefully most of your parents are living. I've gone through the life and transition of Renata and her mom and so many other people. That's what happens when you develop relationships. Same thing with me and my father and many people in my life. We all have had that happen, but the point of it is not to bring misery into the conversation. The point of it is to understand you really don't get the smelling salt or the wake up call until they're gone to understand how much you really appreciate it. Until you have children, do you actually understand the price that was paid. Now, as you evolve in that, but it's an ongoing cycle. Does that make sense? It's an ongoing cycle. And so there's been a lot of price, you know, points paid by Boris and Renata to put this call in place and to be able to provide everybody and for all the rest of the leaders that, you know, I'm very privy to know, you know, which is my honor. You know, when you look at Leon, I mean, just the journey with Leon by himself is a book. I mean, I got a book for each person. I got a book for Gala. I got a book for Leon and his beautiful wife and his 3 beautiful kids before he had a wife and before he had a kid. So this has been a journey. Right. Right. So the breakups and the getting back and can I find my rib, and then he finds a rib, and, you know, and to be a part of all of that is so priceless. You know, to really be a part, not to be in a business, but to truly be inserted into the fabric of a family right there next to blood. If for those that understand that. For those that are looking at it or just joined, I really need you to understand what's been forged in this foundation of a call that you're listening to. It goes beyond money. It goes beyond a business. It goes beyond ACN. It really is, you know, I mean, I'm known, on one side of the coin, I'm known as the Black Russian. On the other side, I'm known as the Black Jew. So you go figure it out. I mean, you know, so it really is a very deep, deep foundation and beautiful love affair of building something that is so magnificent. I'm going somewhere with this, so I want you guys to pay attention. this love affair that I have with each person, Manny, and the list is so long, you know, I mean, Gold, Henry, and Lourdes, and everybody that's been built in here. The question of our family, of what we've been able to build from New York, all the way to LA, all the way back to Australia, to New Zealand. Matrix is not, I need you to understand how global this is. You may just be involved here in New York, but you got to understand this thing has tentacles and a foundation of generations before you. Does that make sense? Just nod your head if you're with me on that. The blessing is that you're able to actually add not a chapter, but a book to this book. Very few people choose powerfully. You want to write that word down. We're getting into training now. Choose powerfully to actually write the book. So you're trying to say, okay, what do I write down? Write down, I choose to write a book. For those taking notes, you should write that down. It should be in your notes. I choose to write a book. Now, when I say that, the question is, and I want it to be interactive. Hopefully you guys can actually unmute yourself. I want to ask a question for the more vocal ones. The ones that are quiet, you're going to stay quiet until you get to know me, and then I'm going to start calling you out and pull you out of the concrete. And I'm going to put you on blast because you can't stay quiet with me for too long. But the first round here, I'm going to allow the quiet ones to stay quiet. But for those that can unmute themselves, I want you to answer. I'll take 3 answers. What is the one thing that will make you the most amount of money in this business and in this industry? If you know the answer, not my leaders that have been around me for a while, unless you actually, and you know what? Everybody but Renata can answer the question. I like to hear an answer. You know, please indulge me.
Serving others.
Your network.
Manny said serving others. Go ahead. Next.
Consistent action that aligns with your goal.
Okay, consistent action, one at a time. Steven, what were you gonna say?
I would say your network. Your network.
Okay. So we'll stop right there so that everybody doesn't get enough on the test. The thing that is gonna allow you to make the most amount of money is called duplication. There is no success until it's been repeated and duplicated through somebody else. You can have no success in any business. This is why McDonald's is successful, because you can have a child driving up a street and see the arches 20 miles before the parent ever sees it. This is why the Kroc brothers were so amazing. It doesn't matter what business you have. This is why Best Buy is so successful. This is why any business that you think about, from our industry through any other industry and business, until you can create a copycat machine that duplicates, and it will duplicate all your good and all your bad, until you can masterfully duplicate yourself in someone else, cloning your actions. Doesn't matter if we're talking about Chase Bank, it doesn't matter, you pick a business. Keeping it really simple so that everybody can do it around the globe. I was driving and I was talking to one of my partners about a KFC. Now, what was crazy is, check this out. What was crazy is, and don't judge me, I'm Black, I like chicken, whatever. So the thing about this is, I actually ordered some KFC. I hadn't had it in a long time because I don't like processed food that much, but I had this burning desire for some chicken. So I ordered some KFC. Now, what was crazy was when the guy delivered the chicken, I said, is that for me? My name is Byron Nelson. And he said, I think so. And he said, what did you order? I said, I ordered Kentucky Fried Chicken. He said, I don't think this is for you. Because in his head, he's been branded in a new generation that all he knows is KFC. He didn't even know the name Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now that was scary in itself. Secondly, they've gone away as far as being able to find Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, you know, asking different people, they're like, man, they have just diminished. And I said, that's only to a local mentality, to a small mind. I'm not judging you, but I lived in Colombia for 2 years. I went back and forth in Australia and was there for 3 years. I've been all over the globe. France, Spain, you name it. KFC is everywhere. It's just not here anymore. Popeyes has replaced it. I said, but it has not gotten any small. It's actually growing. In fact, in certain areas, you'll specifically look for either a McDonald's or a KFC because it's the only thing you're familiar with if you travel. So in this lives the cold concrete stabilization of understanding duplication. It doesn't matter if you're as young as Selena or if you're as old as myself, or the quicker you can learn this, the faster you'll make money. See, the point of this is many people get into this business to make money. I did. A lot of people do. Is there money involved? Yeah, a significant amount. There's a substantial amount of money on the table. But the only way you're going to be able to touch any money or see any money is if you fall in love with the skill set of becoming great. You want a great check? You're going to have to become great. To me, people are pushing to hit these titles. I know a lot of doctors and attorneys and politicians and, captains and generals and vice presidents and presidents. I know a lot of people with titles that are broke. I actually do know a lot of doctors that are broke. They got the title. The title does not make you money. It is developing the character within yourself to become a representation or a law of attraction. You are the value. People come and say, I got to get great at sales. If you develop, you got to understand who you are is real estate. And the more valuable you are as a human being, the more they'll do whatever you ask them to do. So you can be frustrated with acquiring customers. You can be frustrated with of recruiting and bringing people in the business. All this can frustrate you, but the only way that it can frustrate you is your perspective is wrong. You're looking in the wrong direction. See, if you knew for a fact, let's just use NFL or football for a fact. I'm more of a basketball fan, but let's just use football for a fact. If you knew, or tennis, I love tennis, if you knew that you were going to win Wimbledon, you were destined to win Wimbledon, or you were destined to win an NFL championship. You wouldn't care how many stairs you had to run. You wouldn't care how much you had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning if you did ballet. You wouldn't care about how many hours you had to put and keep doing the routine over and over again if you're going to become a gold medalist for dancing or for ice skating or for the World Cup. You wouldn't care about failing this year and not winning because you had the wrong team, because you knew it was within your sight that you were destined to get the championship. When you know you're destined to get the championship and you don't get it within the first month, the first 6 months, the first year, you don't quit. You just know I have to work harder. And I have to work harder on myself than on anything else. I can't get frustrated with my upline or my downline or my sideline or the products or the services. I need to figure out, how can I be better? How do I show up where people just want to get into my business? People just want to do whatever I'm doing. People want to support me. I talked to my mom, I talked to my dad, I talked to all my friends. None of them want to support my business. I only have like 10 points, 10 points. I got 20 points, 20 points. I got 60 points, 60 points. What's that, 30 customers in a year? So you got 30 divided by 12, I mean, you pretty much got 24 too. 3 customers a month. You open up a restaurant and you have 3 customers for the month, every month, and you want to complain about why you aren't making any money? We are a customer acquisition business. Now, to that, I can truly exalt as a whole this team. We're the best in the world. This team right here, that is headed by Boris Renata and the rest of the leaders on this team, hands down, you guys are killing the game. Could we do better? 100%, because when you compare yourself to other people, you've lost the game. But this team is the best in the world. I pride myself on being able to plant a seed and that tree just grew. You can't make a leader develops himself. I didn't make Renata and Boris. I didn't make any of the rest of the leaders, Leon, anybody else. They made themselves. But when you get the right person, oh my God, it's just, oh my God, it's euphoric. Ridiculous. But here's what we have. There's two sides to the coin. You don't want a two-headed nickel, do you? I mean, you can't use it. So if you just have one side of the nickel, I mean, if you try and take a dollar bill in it and it has, George Washington on both sides, that's a fake dollar bill. So one side of it is acquiring the customers. The other side of the dollar bill is building a team, building distribution, building a squad, getting you a sniper crew, becoming the head, the boss, making sure that you're a leader, making sure that people are listening, making sure people are paying attention to you. So in that, this is the foundation of the beginning of a 6-week series. And I said, I'm going to assess if they're listening and it's growing, I'll stay on. If they don't pay attention, you don't have to worry about seeing me for another 2 years. It's that simple. When Renata and Boris ask me for a favor, I know that they have something that is worth me paying attention to, but at the same time, they know I don't waste my time. I build giants. That's what I do. I don't say it arrogantly. It's kind of like asking Serena, what do you do? I play tennis. Have you ever played volleyball? Yeah. Have you ever, become a seamstress? Have you ever had to sew some clothes together? Yeah. Are you great at it? I play tennis. That's what Serena does. I build giants. That's what I do. I'm the best in the world. That's what I do. But you first have to find a Renata and Boris. You first have to find a Gala Stephen. You have to find somebody who chooses powerfully to be a giant. I can't convince a midget that is committed to being small in their own mind to think that they can be large. That's not my job. But if you already know your trajectory is with or without you, I'm going to be large, then we can short circuit that journey and take you from 5 years down to 12 months. Because you've already decided where you're going. Now, in order to do that, to acquire or build the largest residual income is to build the largest team. You have to build the largest team. So Renata said, we have 45 people on here. I would like to see, honestly, next week, I'd like to see 55 people on here. I'd like to know one person put 10 people on here. I don't want to know that 55 people, everybody brought 1 or 2 people on here. I'd like to be able to figure out in 3 weeks who's the one person who I should be working with to take that they put 10 new people on next week, and they put another 15 new people on the next week, and they put another 20 people on the next week off of what I've shared, and their team is now a solid 15 to 20. And then I just tell Renata, okay, you do the rest of the calls. I'm working with that one person. I'm gonna take those 20 people and turn it into 260 days. That's what I would like. I like somebody to make my life real simple. Because it's easier to run with 3 than to drag 1,000. I know that it's virtually not likely that everybody is going to do what's called upon. Some of you are all in. Some of you are standing outside the window looking in to see if it's really real. And some of you have a foot inside the door and outside the door, not figuring out if you're going to run in or run out. And that's predicated on a lot of circumstances. I had somebody once tell me and said, well, you know what, Mr. Nelson, I really like to put more time into this. My business takes a lot of my time, and I already make right now probably about $300,000. This is after I pay all my employees. I net about 300. I do well. And my partner looked at me and said, it took you all a year to make $300,000. And you think you're doing well? Okay, it's all perspective. It's all perspective. You have all the titles, you're busy. Most people, write this down, most people are busy being broke. Everybody's busy, just most people are busy being broke. Now, we aren't going to get into numbers and money because that'll get me in trouble. So I'll stay away from that. But I will tell you My personal subjective opinion is $300,000 a year is broke. That's just my subjective opinion. Has nothing to do with ACN. Let's make sure that's very clear on this recording. Has nothing to do with some people making a lot, some people making less. Nothing. It's just my subjective opinion. So you're going to have to enlarge your mind. I mean, quite frankly, $1 million a year is broke to me. So, it's funny because people say, I want to be a millionaire. Do you know millionaire used to be the person in 1980 that said, I just want to make an extra $100,000 to $250,000 a year. But the evolution of inflation and time and expansion and everything. Today, if you aren't a multimillionaire, then you're really still, a million is, it's what it is. But it's all perspective. So what we're going to have to do for a lot of you is to expand your mind. Because I want you to get my thinking so you don't feel like I'm de-edifying or bashing a person that only makes 50 or 60, 70,000 a year. I'm not at all. I want to be very clear about that. I want you to understand, how much did you make when you were 16 years old? If I asked Bella, when you got your first job, how much did you make? Or Miss Oyama, how much did you make on your first job? Or, any one of you, when on your first job, Lupita, what did you make? Now you compare that to what you make now. Wouldn't you imagine, when you all agree that you cannot afford to live off of your first check when you first got your first job and check compared to now? Would everybody agree with that? So it's all perspective when I say that right now your mind has grown to saying, I can't live on $15 and $20 an hour for some people on this call. Does that make sense? Right? So what this self-transformation does, it is to expand your thinking for where you want to be in 7 years and get you there in 2 years, so it's your reality. You need to speed up the process of stretching. What you did from your first check, of where Joy was on her first check, or Nelson was on his first check, to where they are right now as an adult, was organic. It was natural. You went from being a child to getting your first job, to getting a boyfriend, girlfriend, to dating, to possibly college, or just jumping right into a workforce, to renting, to buying your first house or not buying your first, whatever it is, to your living expenses now. That was organic. But what if you could speed up that process for what you aspire to get to? That's the game. Now, if I speed up the process of where I want to be in 5 years, whatever that is financially for you, to 2 years, who do I have to be? This is the question you want to write down. Who do I have to be to write that check to myself in 2 years? Because whoever that person is, who you were as a child, is totally different than who you are today. So the money that you aspire to make, and it's not about the money, it's about the abundance, the prosperity. It's about the resources. It's about having access. The person that you want to be in that period of time, you can identify who that is and start breaking it down now and become that much faster than 5 years and become that in 2. But most people don't pay attention to it until they arrive. It's very amazing because I'm dealing with, with my girl and cancer and a whole lot of stuff that's going on. We all deal with a lot of stuff in our space. And I have a client, a friend who's in my private gym, who comes and she's beat cancer and she's 12 years out. They told her she only had like 6 months to live. She said, it's amazing how the people on this planet live for the future, but are not present to what they have to do now in order to enjoy now and the future, which means they never really get a chance to be present even in the future because they're so busy planning for something that never takes place because they don't take the actions in being present right now. Hopefully that made sense to somebody. Because if you got a parent that's getting older, if you have children that are growing up, you're so focused on that child going to college and this person and what am I doing for the foundation of private schools and how do I still serve as a husband or wife, and you're so that you've missed this entire moment, and then when it's gone, it catches you by surprise, and now you're devastated and your whole life comes to a standstill. But you can bring them together. But it's going to take action now, a plan now, an understanding now, a comprehension now. of what I need to do now, because where you are right now is based on the decisions you made 5 years ago. Everything that you have or don't have right now is based on the decisions you made 5 years ago. The blessing is we're still all alive here, and you can make some new decisions today. But with new decisions comes new knowledge. That means I need to accumulate new knowledge. In order for my income to change, I'm going to have to know something I don't know. To make money I don't have, I'm going to have to learn something new that I don't know. I was having a very in-depth conversation with somebody the other day, and it's just like, once you pass, and this is not for everybody, especially Selena and a few others, but once you pass 35, 40, most people know how to get to 7 figures or higher. Here's the problem. Because they know, they aren't willing to pay the price and start over again and recreate themselves and rebrand themselves. They're so comfortable in the habits they created and who they are that they don't want to shake up that cycle. They aren't willing to take risk anymore. I would take those risks when I was single, but now I got a family, I got this. So I got to really make sure my security is in place. When your security is already a sham. That's what's crazy. Now there's a cycle to this. I know Renata had let me go all night, but we aren't going to do that. I want to make sure that I save you guys for the next 5 weeks and you don't go anywhere. Leon knows and some other knows we'll be here for a while because this is the warm up.
That's right.
This is just smelling. So this is just straight coffee, just to wake you up so that you're very clear. I know what I'm talking about because I don't talk about what I don't know about. If I don't know about it, I don't talk. Some people like to talk about everything. I only talk about what I know about. I think people should shut up when they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So there's cycles to this, right? There's a system to this. What people will tell you is find people that know how to make decisions. That's a great caveat. Find people that know how to make decisions. It wasn't until my great awareness over the last 3 years, honestly, that I really woke up to understand finding people that know how to make decisions is not the first priority. It is part of the equation, but it's not the first priority, because a manipulator or a great silver tongue or getting great at your craft or your conviction can sway a person. It doesn't have to be from a manipulation, it could be from an authentic space. But it's real easy to get people to make a decision because so many people don't know how to make a decision unless they're swayed or they're navigated in a specific. So if I see that, Cardell, or if I see that, Dr. Val is really convicted with what they're talking about, I'm going to get ignited and excited off of somebody else's excitement. We teach you that excitement is the elixir. It's the gasoline that lights the fire in others. It is, right? Excitement is like, you could be as a child, you can go to a amusement park and everybody's running to a ride. And the other kids will start running to that ride too. And it's like, where are we going? I don't know. They go in there, but let's go. We need to get on that ride. They don't even know where they're going. And that is so true of what's going on right now around the world. We won't even bring politics into this. Everybody gets on the bandwagon and gets caught up in stuff that they know nothing about. Scary thing. So I'm saying is take a step back and make sure that as you lead, it's authentic, it's genuine, it's transparent, it's built in integrity, and you're clear about what you're doing and where you're going. Now, in that conversation, decision is not the first step. The first step, which, like I said, this just came like it was like a ton of bricks that hit me in the head. The first step is a belief system. I can't date anybody without having a belief system. I didn't get on this call without a belief system. I can't get into ACM without a belief system. There's something that you have not, and just because you're in does not mean that you believe. So you need to figure out how to get your belief system up. Now, my equation for belief system is the sooner you get a check, the faster your belief goes up. So you're gonna have to figure out how to get a check. So I'm reverse engineering this for someone who's following me, and I'm going backwards, I'm going fast, but it's being recorded. You're probably gonna have to listen to this about 2 or 3 times to truly get the essence of all that I'm saying. Because I talk fast, but I say it the same way 5 different ways. and especially this being the most diverse culturally group on the planet, and it being 70% of people's second language on this call. Trust me, I'm very clear about that. When I did a presentation the first time for Boris Renata, and 70% of them spoke Russian and didn't even understand what the hell I was saying. They just saw this tall black man in their living room. And if they did understand, they didn't want me to know that they understood, because they just sat there like Russians, like. It was a beautiful thing though. Because see, you can never deny the heart. If somebody's coming from an authentic heart space, it melts all that hard exterior, no matter who it is. And so here's what I want to share you in your belief system. How do I get a belief system? I need to build a team. If I were to ask you, Lourdes, how many people do you have on your team right now? Okay. Lourdes, how many people do you have on your team, love?
3.
3. Bella, how many people do you have on your team?
Close to 800.
800 people?
Mm-hmm.
Bella does?
No.
I didn't think so. Not you, Gala. I know how many
3.
people are on your team. Thank you, Bella. Okay, we're going to
I
get to that
wish
later.
that the number will be real.
It is. By the time you finish my training, it will. Joy, how many people do you have on your team?
I'm actually a visitor.
A visitor. Excellent. So if I want to turn something, and see, everybody always gets the dream. Everybody wants the championship. Very few people want to put in the work. That's what I love about this. This really is a self-development course with an incredible compensation plan. You get paid for becoming freaking amazing. I mean, like amazing. I just celebrated Les Brown's 77th birthday. I was one of a handful of people to be in a very small space to celebrate his 77th birthday as his surrogate son, to replace him on the grand stage of speaking. And many will tell you if they hear, I mean, it's just amazing, because I'm in such awe. It's almost like you want to do music and then you played, before David Bowie, and everybody's like, you should have been the person playing after David Bowie, because you were such a great student of that person, that David Bowie made you better than them. Does that make sense? You guys follow me on that so far? Even this week, I'm actually doing a training with Dr. George Frazier. Many of you may or may not know the name, but the stages that I'm on right now, how I got to a Richard Branson's island, or how I actually am doing business with so many extraordinary people, came from this instrument called Apple Candy Nancy. That what you see behind Leon's back is called ACN. So you may not know this business or not understand it in its full throttle of understanding. Before there's a tree, there is a seed. And you want to make sure that you have the right fertilizer and the right seed that can give you branches that can expand way beyond your wildest freaking dreams. And this has that potential beyond any adjective I can give you, because I live in worlds that very few people can walk in because of those acronyms right there. So I'm giving you the foundation of exactly what it takes in order to make that happen. The first thing is a belief system. That means you need to make a decision. If a person says, I need to think about it, leave them alone. Because if I said, I'm going to give you a $100,000 check for your family endowment fund, are you going to say, let me think about it? Or are you going to take it? See, people that are already looking for something going in the right direction, their mind was made up before you made them. You don't have to wait on indecision. 80% of people live in indecision, which is why 80% of people live broke. Then there's the bottom 10% that is just, you can't do anything for them. Then there's the top 10% that control the other 90%. You want to move into the demographic of the top 10% that are the orchestrators, the conductors. They may not be good at the trombone. I'm not. They may not be good at the drums. I'm not. They may not be good at strings. I'm not. They may not be good at a lot of things, but guess what I am good at? Orchestrating. My name is Renata. I'm an orchestrator. I found one of the greatest conductors in the world. And when she puts a team together, the music plays better than anybody else until you masterfully put together. You want to go into surgery. You have the #1 surgeon in the world. Your mother is lying on the table and she needs heart surgery. And the surgeon is the #1 surgeon in the world. And she walks in or he walks in. It's like, let's do surgery. And it's like, hold it. So I understand you're the #1 surgeon in the world. I am. My mom just had a cardiac, and it's my understanding needs a triple bypass. She does. Am I to understand you're going to do this all by yourself? You don't have a team? Would you let somebody do a triple bypass on your mom and they don't have a team in the room? That would be stupid. So many people attempt to do a triple bypass or even open heart surgery on themselves. They're so intelligent, so ignorantly intelligent. They know so much that they know so little. Because the master has a squad, a killer squad, an assassin team that he can count on, that I can send Leon right now to Israel. I can send him to Australia. I can actually take Renata and send her up to Japan, or I can send her up to Canada. I have a team that in a squad that is so unstoppable. Their confidence, no lack. Their knowledge beyond the next. Their insatiable appetite to grow, extraordinary. Their love for the human race, ridiculous. Their understanding of their tool set, very simple. Do you have a product? Do you have a service? Do you have a phone? Do you have gas? Do you have electricity? This is like a no-brainer. The product itself and the company is just like ridiculous. I don't know a lot of real estate. It just made sense. If I could help my tenants save money on their bills, maybe they can pay their rent on time. I had no idea that it would actually make more money than the tenants actually pay me to stay in the properties. That just made so much sense. And I have to learn how to give it away. I don't ask anybody for any money out of their pocket except for what they're already paying for. I don't have to get a down payment. I don't have to do a layaway plan. I don't have to sit up there and say, okay, how's your credit to be able to buy this $5 million building? I can deal with 18 to 80. Do you have a phone, gas, electric? What? I can do this 5 times a day and make your bills go away in less than 6 months and teach a handful of people that it organically grows. Now, is that easy? No. I'd be lying to you to tell you this is easy. But is it simple? Very much so. You're going to have to get a belief system for yourself. If you're waiting for somebody else to sell you, that's like telling somebody, sell me on the fact that I'm a great person. That's just, it doesn't work like that. Once you have the belief system, then you have to find people that know how to make decisions. It's easy to make a belief system when you have, it's easy to make decisions when you have a belief system. Then you're going to have to take actions. We'll get into this next week. What actions to take. But if you go back and listen to this recording, you'll find out I'm like a clock. I always end where I start. I never forget where I started. I asked you in the beginning, I said, what is it that's going to allow you to truly build the largest organization, make the most amount of money in this business? We started with duplication. You know what comes before duplication, so you're taking copious notes. Or simultaneously is a story. If you notice when Manny was speaking, he shared his story. As Gold got on, she shared her story. As Renata got on, she shared her story. What's your story? I want to know Joy's story. I want to know Bella's story. What's your story? So how do I create the greatest duplication? Well, I have a belief system that gives me a conviction that gets me high off the aspirations of me getting where I want to be in 5 years, in 2 years, that forces me to share. Because when you're excited about something, you organically, naturally share whatever you're excited about. I'm excited about arriving at a destination that very few people will go. And in that, it will attract the right people that will come. And I will tell that story over and over and over again to anybody who wants to hear it, but only the people who choose to hear it. And in that, I'm saying, Lupita, would you like to walk off your job? Let me tell you about myself. Let me tell you about a young lady who started as, a cleaning woman that took over a hotel. There is an immigrant that came here and rose to the top. You know what? Let me tell you, Joy, would you like to be able to wake up when you finish sleeping? That just sounds too good to be true. Let me tell you about a man who had 2 companies and worked a business and was working by himself while going through bad relationships to where he found his bride and has, an amazing squad. He's building his own team right now. We could go down the story sell, facts tell. See, you don't ever get tired of telling amazing stories. The question is, do you have an amazing story, or would you like to start writing one? Because that transcends ACN, a company, and a business. It's what we do every day. It gives us purpose. It allows us, it allows us to be able to change another life, inspire another life. My son is living a life right now that is inspired, not motivated. When you can create that, pick up that pen. That goes into presenting. We call it presenting. It's not presenting. Do you understand 99% of the people that ever got into my business, a business that generates a lot, a business that has had over 1 million customers, okay? That this business was about just changing lives. It was about telling the story. It's about just truly being able to tell a story, our own story. And when I say 99% of the people got into my business and everything else that I touch today, before they even know what it is, because of the story. A person looks, see, you got to become so amazing. Where are we at? I got 2 more minutes. You have to become a Michelangelo. You need to become a Picasso. If you have a parent, a child, if you work at a job, the one who can paint the picture with words. Please write that down. It's one of the best things you'll be able to take away tonight. When you can paint a picture with words and let people see what's possible. And in that picture, it has to include a Russian, a Japanese, a Mexican, a South American, a Jewish, a Ukrainian, a Caribbean, a Frenchman, a Spaniard. It has to include everybody. Puerto Rican, Gaelic. My picture's so big, they don't even see that I'm Black by the time I finish the picture. Because they see themselves in the picture. A broke person, a rich person, an 18-year-old, a 90-year-old. The person that never thought they'd ever do anything like this, like, that's me in that picture. I have no time. That's me in that picture. I have no money. That's me in that picture. I'm working 2 jobs and I'm still broke. That's me in that picture. I've gotten 3, 4 degrees and I don't even work in the industry in which I got my degrees. That's me in that picture. I'm a single mother. That's me in that picture. My mom, my father is ailing. That's me in that picture. I don't know what I'm gonna do for retirement. That's me in that picture. My health is ailing and I can't even get in shape because I don't have the time to work out. That's me in that picture. I want everything that I never had. That's me in that picture. I want to change the world. That's me in that picture. I want to help the homeless. I'm tired of seeing them outside my house. That's me in that picture. I just need to retire my dad. He's working like a slave. That's me in that picture. I need to leave my kids something. If I died right now, there would literally be nothing but headaches and they'd have to bury me at a discount. That's me in that picture. Kind of picture. And until you start talking, which only happens after you believe. Why I asked Bella, how many people do you have, or anybody, why you have, you won't until you start talking to people, until you start presenting yourself. And you can't build a team until you find your belief system. And your belief system is not in gigawatts, fiber optics, and telecom. I don't need to get you to believe in electricity and ID seal. Are you on a computer? Do you have a phone? Do you have internet? So why would you talk about that? That's not going to attract anybody. But changing my life, doing something that can really authentically change my address from jail to Yale, from the hood to the other side. The freedom of time to be able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, with who I want, and no financial constraints. Now that's exciting to me. Now you may have talked to a few people and they looked at you like you're crazy because you approached them wrong. You really need to call them back and apologize. Hey, you know what, Mercedes, I apologize. I was sharing with you this business and I was talking about gigawatts and cell phones and internet. I apologize. I messed up. Because it's not even, I thought that's what we were selling. That's not what we're selling. That's not what we're marketing. I owe you an apology. Can we have a cup of coffee and me share with you from my heart? Will you give me another chance to share with you what this is? Many of you need to rewrite your list that you've gone after and go back and approach them and apologize to them and ask them for a second chance. You'd be amazed if they could see the glaze in your eye. Because you can't get a glaze in your eye talking about a cell phone. You can't get a glaze in your eye talking about internet. But you can get a glaze in your eye talking about, I'm paying for my child's education before they get out of 7th grade. I'm walking away from my job in the next 5 years. And I'm 35. I'm firing my boss in 2023. December. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? I could care less. See, here's what you're going to find out. You're still going to get the naysayers. You're still going to get the skeptical and the cynical. I'm not trying to tell you you're going to avoid that. What I am going to tell you is when you go to a person and you offer them something to eat, you're always going to get 3 people. The first one is like, why the hell are you trying to give me some food? Somebody else just tried to give me some food. Is it poison? What the hell is it? You tell me it's all that and it's that good, then why don't you eat it yourself? Why? What? Is it one of those network marketing? Is it one of them pyramid things? How much does this thing cost? Oh, hell no. See, I told you ago. No, I ain't got time. I haven't tried those things before. I've been in one of those things. My mama was in one of those. Is it Amway? What is it? What is it? Come on, I haven't heard of it before. Okay, they just exist. You know, the second person. Yeah, I'm interested in walking off my job, but exactly what is it? Could you send me some information? Please send me some information. Could you send me an email? Something. What kind of product is it? No. I don't want to get in yet. I need to understand. I'm busy. I'm really busy. But I look at it for you. Yeah, you're gonna get that one. Then you're gonna get the third person. Hell yeah, I've been looking for some my whole damn life. What is it? Yes, I'm in. The person that gets in was already in before you met them. They were already looking. A person that was looking for water was already thirsty. You're getting stuck on the first and the second person instead of understanding 1 second. Now, you may hear our mentor, Mr. Greg Provenzano, and a few other leaders say, 1 minute on 100 people. Listen to your senior vice president. 1 second on 100 people and an hour on the right one. I would even say a millisecond. Your, our time is too valuable. You can honestly, if you follow my lead for the next 90 days, you can do this really on an hour a day and get wealthy. You have to grow into the person you need to be. You don't need to understand the business at that level, because when you become that person, then you understand how simple this is. There's only 2 things we do. We acquire customers and we acquire business partners. Business partners are like a store. That store is a distribution channel. You develop and invest in that store to grow so it can run on its own without you. And exponentially it starts to grow. And if you invest in the right store, like Renata and Boris, and many of the stores that are on here, Steve and Ina, Leon, many of the people I'm calling, then you can walk away and the store is going to run without you, and they're going to open up 5 more stores so they can walk away. And wouldn't we all like to have a business that in 5 years we could walk away from and it continues to grow and pays us well? That's called residual income. There's nothing more gorgeous. Well, there's nothing more gorgeous than residual income. When you expand to where I am, you'll find out there's some other foods that are equally good. But then you have money, because the next level after you acquire enough money is to learn how to invest. And that's the game that I'm playing now. I love my freedom, my time. I mean, so blessed, but I'm so blessed because of this team and the leaders on this team and many leaders beyond. So what I would encourage you guys to do is identify yourself. I'm gonna close with saying, identify yourself before I turn over to Renata. You have to identify yourself. Nobody else can identify. I didn't identify Renata and Boris. They identified themselves. Many of them will tell you, or many leaders will tell you, go find leaders. I'm gonna tell you, you can't find leaders. Leaders find you. The greater of a leader you become, they find you. You chasing leaders means that you haven't become who you need. It's like chasing a man or a woman. It's like, if you know you're all of that, you know they're standing in line. They're in a waiting room waiting for you. Does that make sense? Are you guys follow me in that conversation? It's like, I don't need to look for it. There's a waiting room for the people that I train, the people I want to work with, the people I develop, because you created so much substantial, so much credibility, so much substance based on not popularity, not based on arrogance, not based on narcissism, but based on how you have served. Servant leadership at the highest level, God is good. I'm just telling you, if you learn how to become an amazing servant leader, then the people that you served will serve you back better than you could ever serve yourself. Identify yourself to be that person that has 10 people on next week. Force me to have to make you rich. Force me to be able to have a conversation when I was like, look, you only need to talk to 3 people. These 3 people got 10 people on. I said, okay, let's watch a couple more weeks and see if they're consistent. Let's see how committed they are, or if they're just involved. I think people are either involved or they're committed. You can't be, that's pretty much what it is. You can't be in love with like 3 women. You can't be in love with 3 men. You can love 3 men. You can love 3 women. You can't ride 2 horses at one time. You can have 2 horses. You can put them in the stables. But the person is committed. My job is, if you're on the fence, to take you off of the fence. Your job, if you're looking at this for the first or second time, or you only been in for a week or 2 weeks, you know how I'm gonna find out who you are? You're gonna call whoever your upline is and says, I'm the one you're looking for. I need you to work with me, and I need him, and I need Renata. You're gonna identify yourself. If you don't call somebody, then you aren't. You're still on the fence, and a bird on the fence gets shot from both sides. I'm cool with that. But the person that identifies, I just had a shift. I need a quantum. It's February, it's 2022. We just went through 22. All the energy shift. Moons, for those that understand that, we won't go into the lunar, shifts. Everything is shifted. If you didn't shift with it, shift out. It's real simple. But nobody's going to know that you want the leading part unless you identify, I want that part. If you don't say, I want that part to be the best on the planet, the best version of myself, I want to grow into a beast and get paid for it, then you resume to the position of, I'm an extra in everybody's movie. I'm cool with where I am. Your homework assignment is to, whoever is your upline and your leader, if you can all call and blow up Renata's phone right after this call, identify that you're serious and you really want to be that person. And we're going to take you at your word. I don't take anybody at their word. My father taught me a long time ago, never listen when anybody says, watch what they do over a period of time. But we at least want to clear the air and start seeing who at least is going to start the process to identify themselves, so that we don't ever have it in our heart of regret that we weren't there to support you and help you if you chose to be that person. You will never, ever be able to say that in this family, is that I didn't have support and I didn't have the right mentorship. I can tell you from an arrogant perspective, however you want to see me, I didn't get into this for friends. This family has the greatest leadership and support, not in ACN, in the freaking world. It's untouchable. You can go and look up everything from me to Renata and everybody else down. You can go look at my credits and who the hell I am. I pride myself on developing champions that are greater than me. That's why I'm on this call. That's who Renata and Boris are. But I hope this has helped you. I hope I don't come off too aggressive. I'm really a teddy bear. So I'm complete with my call. And I love each and every one of you. Renata, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. The floor is mine. I just want to tell you, Mr. Nelson, you are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much.
So
I am who I am because of you. And I know that today, I know you helped so many people. And I know so many people already in the world praising you and grateful. I remember we went to Colombia, and even if they don't speak English, everybody knew how to pronounce Mr. Nelson. And I know that you're awesome. And thank you so much. And I love your commitment. I love that you be with us next Wednesday. And what I know is you realize how much power you have. And I know that it's going to be more. Like now I'm looking at 46 people. So I think we definitely can host 92. It's at least everybody would love to, at least one person who you like to bless. And I think it's going to be more people. But I just want to tell you that we are so grateful as a team, myself as a human being. Like, I think you are, I know you're big, and I think God have so much like reason for you to make you so tall, because via Zoom, you're the same height. This man is so huge. He's like, to me, he's like Tony Robbins, big. I think that this giant always have a purpose. But thank God, Zoom, look at that. I look taller.
You are tall.
You
are the giant. I'm on here to serve you. You are the queen. Me and Boris are very clear about that conversation.
You are incredible. And I have to tell you, God makes no mistakes. This team is yours. And I have to tell you, our team, everybody's name, Matrix. I know that many is Matrix Warriors. Gold is Matrix Evolution. Leanne is Matrix Virtue. Gala is Matrix Generation. Yakov Zaga is Matrix Roosters.
Yakov.
It's all Matrix. And you know, it's interesting. Whoever is winning, they staying here as Matrix. And we know we are your favorite kids. Because you know, when we started, at that time, even though this was a Byron Nelson group, Matrix International group, but we were the first out of so many people in the world who started to name ourselves. We were the first one we were in the business for a few months. We called and said, our name is Matrix World. And Mr. Nas like, really? And I promise that everybody who's winning here, their name would be a Matrix One. Co-founder, you see, Matrix Roosters, because this one is waking up in the morning and let the whole world know that ACN exists, Matrix exists. This is Yakov. Thank you so much. He just wrote Matrix Rooster. And I remember that you were so kind of even touched. You said, all of you would be Matrix. I said, yeah, because one day when we on the chart, like when we were on the chart and we were on the chart, guys, long time, thank God, have no idea how, but thank God. And it was always Matrix. And I know that we represent this great man with dignity and honor. And thank you so much. So
yeah, and then when you look at it, I mean, RVP Jocelyn Driscoll is on, she's Matrix. And for those that understand, it's not about a company, it's a spirit. And you guys have been so blessed to have, you know, Leon, Ina, Steve, Renata, Boris. It's a spirit. If you attempt to stop doing it by yourself and understand how much, here's my question, for those that are strong, those that need confidence, stick around, we'll give it to you. But those that already know that you're a beast, here would be my question. How much more powerful would you be if you had 10 of you? What would your world look like if there was 10 of you? Because you're being invited to not a business, but a family. And you will truly understand that if you stick around long enough. That we take care of each other. We have each other's back. It's based on integrity. We don't deal in drama. We take action. The more person action. It's not the person. This is different than any other company or any other organization ever seen. And that's not due to me. That's due to the collective. But I can tell you, it's not to the person who's producing the most. It's to the person who works the hardest. And the harder you work, the more we bless. Because that becomes a habit. That's a consistency. It just happens in your time. To me, people are looking for a microwave. It's like, well, I didn't get this. If you stay the course on who you're supposed to be, everything else happens for you. It's the people that keeps changing streets and vehicles that never get to their destination. Hopefully that made sense, because I said it with the greatest amount of endearment of love. This family is so ridiculous. Look at the cultural boundaries that it crosses. And a lot of people have never been a part of that. Go ahead, Renata. I'm sorry. I'm complete.
I tell you, there is another incredible team. I forgot the name. Steven and Ina Angers, their Matrix Power, and their team is on fire. They're so incredible. Very, very loyal leaders. I'm like so grateful that they're part of our journey and their Matrix Power. Just want to let you know.
I look forward to next week and seeing what you guys do. See, the test is not, and I want to leave you with this. I'm going to tell you about Muhammad Ali. Here's a story for you. What I loved about Muhammad Ali, for those that I think everybody on the globe knows who Muhammad Ali is, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, every persuasion. He said something very powerful after he won one of his championships. And he said, how did you beat him in the ring? He said, I didn't beat him. He lost before the fight. He said, what are you talking about? He said, every fight is won before they even enter the ring. Hopefully that resonates and somebody get that. Your championship ring for your finances and your senior vice president and everything that you deserve in recognition as a human being on the planet Earth beyond a company is won way before you show up for the world to see it. It's the hard work that's done when nobody sees you. So those that show up that will win, on next Wednesday, as far as success, it's not done on the day of. It's going to be done between this Wednesday and next Wednesday. It's kind of like a child going to school. We all went to school, and your parents asked you, it's like, so how'd you do on the test? And you said, I think I did pretty good. The person that got the A, emphatically, it's like, it was a no-brainer. I finished everything. See, when you've done the work before the test, it's just a process to go through the test. You're done with the test. So like, I was finished. I knew everything on the test. Of course, I got an A. The person that did not do their best, that's the operative right there. It's one of the things I love about Kobe. The one who goes all out every day, every second at being the best at who they're born to be, doesn't have to ask how they did or how they're going to show up next Wednesday or on any day, because it's already completed. They put in the work. Your life is going to show up a year from today based on what you do every week and every day and every hour from the time you get off this call at who you want to become as a human being. The most amazing human being on the planet, or just keep living the life that you have, which is, whatever, subpar, mediocre, a B student, a B plus, I'm above the rest. You're comparing yourself. You think you have it nice. You got a house, a car, whatever. Or you could challenge yourself. I challenge myself every freaking day. And I have my competition is the worst. I mean, it is the hardest competition on the planet. I actually curse out my competition every freaking day. And he stands in the mirror and tell him, I will be better than you tomorrow. I'll be better than you tomorrow. I will be freaking better than you tomorrow. I don't care who you think you are or what you think you have accomplished. I will beat your ass tomorrow. That's my daily conversation when I wake up every day. I will be better than the person I see in the mirror tomorrow. I love you guys. I'm complete.
You're absolutely incredible. And I want to tell you, thank you for you and thank you for the leaders that you have in the world. I'm looking at Jocelyn here. Yes, your team is Matrix Movement. And I have to tell you, a few weeks ago, I called her regarding our partner in California, and she was so helpful, so servant. I want to give her a hug over the phone. She was so incredible. I love this lady and have so much respect for her.
I gotta tell you, brother, I miss you.
I miss you too, B.
I was glued to the phone, listening. I miss those days, waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and listening to the boot camp, and that's how you make it. You know, it's. I feel that if Renata, and I would go through that, it would have been a different journey. But I remember you coming down here and packing the Starbucks and cafes here in Brooklyn, and just people are stopping by. What the hell is going on there? Who is this guy, and so on and so forth. That was an exciting time, right?
Man.
So I think that because of COVID, and actually I think COVID is long gone, in my opinion, we can have similar to what we had, and with new people being on board, with older people getting stronger, I think we have a lot of good things going for us. And I really believe that the time is now, and the place is here, and with everything that's going on on the energy market, I mean, it's just amazing. People are calling and saying, "Please lock me in, lock me in, lock me in," because I actually received the for the New York people, I received the I would say a call from people who are familiar with what's going on in Connecticut. And they're expecting prices to go as high as 50 cents per kilowatt. I mean, guys, come on. I mean, Byron, Mr. Nelson said 5 points, 10 points. What are we talking about here? There's got to be 1,000 points, in each and every store. That's where the residual comes. So, I'm pretty sure that today's training was instrumental. And I know there will be more, and I know, we'll get back on the charts where we belong. You know what I mean? It's like
every Wednesday. Let's go, family. I love you, Boris. Leon, give my kids a kiss and give Irene a kiss for me. I love you. Love you guys. Boris, I can't wait to see you.
We love you so much, dearly.
Love you too, man.
Grateful to you forever. Thank you so much.
Love you guys. Okay.
So grateful. If anybody have our international event for new people, just to show how big our international event, the energy there, I stop recording.